What's up with y'all? Keys here with another video. In today's video, we're gonna be doing a high. Well, actually, we're gonna be doing a mid fade. So we're gonna start by combing all the hair up off the scalp and then going in with our bald line. I like to start my bald line with the clippers instead of the trimmers because it's easier to take out and you won't have to go over it multiple times with it versus using trimmers. So I use the clippers to start with my bald line, and we're gonna use his eyebrow for a reference point and then bring it to the back and then around, all the way around. And when we go to the back, we're gonna drop it slightly in the back because it's a mid fade. We don't want it too high. And then I go around cleaning everything up off of his head, making sure there's no leftover hair behind his ear or anywhere else. And then I retrace my steps after that with the trimmers to make sure everything is down to the bone, you feel me? Like down to the scalp, like everything is gone. And everything that the clippers didn't pick up, the trimmers will. And it won't affect the line because I didn't set the line and I'm just going over where I'm not cutting to make sure everything is bald. And the trimmers get that job done exactly how I need it to be. So that's what we do here. Going back over the ear, everywhere, make sure it's all bald. I comb the hair out again and start with my lever open. That's with the guard, with the lever on the blade all the way open is all the way down on the guard blade. I start lever open and then I slowly close it halfway until I get to fully closed. And when I get to fully closed, I'm at the bottom of his head where I first placed my guideline. When I'm halfway, I'm about in the middle and I'm just softening up the middle part, and then close is where I take out the line completely. And I do that all around his head. So I start open and then I slowly close the lever halfway and then close to fully get that bottom line out. And don't be afraid to go over it a couple times again if you think that you missed a few spots. Always take your time with the cut. Don't be rushing, because if you rush, you're gonna mess up more. But it's good to mess up, you feel me? Don't be scared to make mistakes, because you have to make mistakes to know what to do right. You feel me? So don't be scared to make mistakes. But yeah, just make sure y'all taking y'all time and being precise. After that, I go in with my 2-guard and I just go against the grain with the 2-guard all the way around the head to make sure that I can see my guidelines that I'm about to create lower. So the 2 was the highest guard that we are going to be using. That's the highest guard we're going to be using for this haircut. It's a 2 on the top. So I want to make sure that I can see everything from the 2-guard down. So I'm starting with the 2-guard, and then after the 2-guard, I switch to my 1.5 guard open, and that's me starting at the top where the fade is starting at. And you make sure that you picture out the fade before you even fade, so it makes it a little bit easier for you to know what you're doing. So I picture out the fade. I start with my lever open, and you see how I'm floating? I'm just floating back and forth with the lever open, because I'm slowly closing it too as I'm floating back and forth. But I'm not, every time I close the lever, I'm not at the same place I was when I had the lever open. I'm just a little bit lower, and I'm not using my full blade sometimes. Sometimes I use the corner. It's better to use the corner because it's not like taking as much hair off versus using the full blade against the head. So I'm using the corner of my blade and slowly closing the lever and moving down in the fade. Slowly but surely combing everything back down after I cut. I comb everything back down to make sure everything is gone and in the right type of order. So then after that, I switch to my 1-guard, and it's all the way open. That's closed and then that's open. So all the way open, and I start right where I left off, 1.5 closed. Before my 4 guards that I was on 1.5 closed is where I'm starting with my 1-guard open. And I do the same exact thing, gliding back and forth and slowly closing the lever halfway and then fully closed. And once I get fully closed, I should be at the bottom line to where I first started with the open guard. When it's open, it goes closed. Open, halfway, closed. That's how it goes. For my fading technique, this is called the fading down technique. It is pretty easy once you get the hang of it, but it could be a little confusing at first if you're new to the fading. If you're new to fading and things and whatnot, but it gets easier. And after I finish with my 1 guard, I switch to my 0.5 guard. That's the 0.5 guard. That's the guard closest to 0. And yeah, so I switch to my 0.5 guard and I start inching at the bottom line, just tapping the line, making sure that I get it as close as possible to the skin, fading out the bottom last line. So we're gonna keep it open and then slowly close it. Just like I said before, open and slowly close it, but you're moving down in the fade. And you're using, make sure you use your corners. That's the best way that's the best tip I can tell you guys, is to use your corners, because you won't take as much hair off if you use your corners. But you still want to be precise with it. Like, you don't want to just be cutting for no reason. Like, make sure you're actually cutting the hair and you're moving down and you're picturing the fade before you touch the fade, so everything comes together smoothly in the end. And what you do to one side, you do to the other side. So after you finish all those steps, your fade you should start seeing your fade come together halfway through the fade. Like, after you get to your 1 guard close, you should start seeing the fade. If you don't see the fade, then you did something wrong and you need to go back. And even when you go back though, like, you have to make new lines and whatnot. So you want to make sure you're taking your time. As you guys can see, the fade is there. So I take my 1.5 guard and I smooth the fade down. Also, I'm combing it at the same time to make sure the hairs are laying down and they're not sticking up after I go with the grain. Making sure everything is laying down and the fade is nice and put together, and not all the hairs are sticking up on the top of his head. And I look in the mirror to make sure everything is good. Make sure the fade is checking out. And I'll come back later to detail. But we're gonna move on to the second side. And what you do to one side, you do to the other side. So we're just gonna skip straight through this. Y'all follow the same steps. Open, halfway, and then close. All the way from the 1.5 guard down to the 0.5 guard. And then open guard is detail work. After I go around and do that same thing I did to the first side, to the whole head, I ask my client, what does he want to do with the mustache and how does he like it? He tells me he wants it the same length as my mustache, you feel me? So I'm like, okay. And he's just basically letting me know everything I need to do. So make sure y'all consult with y'all client before y'all make any rash decisions, you feel me? Because I could have just came in all crazy and, you feel me, did my own thing. But you want to consult with your client to make sure he gets exactly what he wants, you feel me? That's how you perfect your service, by like making sure the client is fully satisfied with his cut, you feel me? He wants to look how he want to look, you feel me? Everybody wants a certain type of look, so make sure you paying attention to what your client is saying and completing that for them. So I take his beard down with the no lever open. I mean, not no lever, tripping, my fault. No guard open, no guard, just lever open. You know what I'm saying? Just going up with the beard against the grain and taking it all down. Proceed with lining up his mustache, making sure that it sits right above his lip and making sure that the line is sharp and full all the way through from the left side to the right side. Making sure that I'm using my hand is also resting on his face to give me extra leverage to make sure that I don't go too far or too deep into the mustache and take too much off. So be careful, because you might take too much off. So make sure that you're taking your time and using both hands of the clipper like I'm using, or leaning your finger on his face as you're lining up the top half. I personally use a neck strip for my hairline prep, and I just spray it with some alcohol and wipe down his hairline. And after that, I tap him with the holding spray. Real nice, make sure everything is hit with the holding spray, you know what I'm saying? Because I need it to hold in, you feel me? So I then grab my blow dryer, put it on cool air, and I grab my brush And I just blow dry it for like a couple seconds and brush it all down to make sure all the hair is laying down. Everything is in order for this hairline. This hairline prep, my bad. And make sure that you're comfortable when doing the hairline. You don't want to do it the wrong way or in the wrong type of position and potentially mess up and have one side higher than the other. So you want to make sure you find that sweet spot for yourself and make sure you rearrange the client if you need to. Rearrange the chair, rearrange your stance, you feel me? Just make sure that you are starting in the middle of his line as well. Straight up from his nose, straight up to his forehead. And make sure that you're starting in the middle, and you want to work on the side that's strongest to weakest. Now the best way to put that is you want to take away hair, but you can't bring hair back. You feel me? So take away, but you can't bring back. All right. So you want to start with the part where you can take away, but you don't want to start with the part where you can't bring back. You feel me? So move from the middle all the way to the right side, and then start back in the middle and go the same thing. Do the same thing to the left side. In the middle, to the left side. You feel me? Make sure that y'all taking your time and y'all not just doing and not looking back in the mirror. You want to make sure that y'all looking back in the mirror and taking a step back to see if you need to make any adjustments before you finish off. Because once you finish, like I said, you cannot bring the hair back. So do not do too much, you feel me? Take y'all time. Don't be pushing these people back, bro. Make sure you brush everything back, take a step back, you feel me? Get another angle of the line, and then proceed with caution. This is a mid fade, and my client suggested he wanted C cups on his line, so that's what I gave him. Make sure y'all go back around one more time after the cut and clean up everything. Make sure there's no hair left. You don't want your client leaving out the chair looking like he ain't just get a haircut, you feel me? You want to make sure that he looks like yo ad, you feel me? He has to be your walking advertisement when he leave the chair. So make sure he's looking as clean as possible before he gets out the chair. I hand my client the mirror. He lets me know his thoughts on the cut. If there's anything I need to change, or if there's anything he wants, you feel me, changed about the cut. Make sure y'all show him the whole cut, you feel me, so he can really depict what he needs done to it, you feel me? But in this scenario, my client was cool with it, you know what I'm saying? He liked it, and he was set, you feel me? So that's good work. And yeah, man, hope y'all liked the video. Subscribe for more tutorials. And yeah, I'm gonna keep getting them out there for y'all. And after, I like to go back another round detailing, but we ain't even gonna show that in this video. But yeah, I detail with my 0.5 guard or my open guard, and that's just the end process of the cut, you feel me? I like to go back and detail to get all the spots that I might have missed in the beginning. This is the end of the cut. Y'all see how he came in? Look at how he's leaving. Yes. But yeah, y'all like, comment, subscribe for more videos. Appreciate y'all for sticking all the way through. And yeah, man, we gonna keep dropping the bangers for y'all. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, boy. Keep up.
I'll take my car.